In my last video, we have seen how create, update, delete are working with ETag. The problem was that the ETag handling done with the framework in my previous video. Now, how we can override this framework thing and how we can implement our own code for the ETag, that we will see. For doing that, the mandatory thing for watching this video, please watch out my last video. The link will be in I description and the description as well, that you can watch. So for that, what we are doing, what we have to do, if you go to your DPC class, this is DPC extension class where we have implemented update entity, create entity and delete entity and get entity working out of the box. And since we have made in our MPC extension class, let me open that also. In MPC extension class, one hashtag property is a ETag. So during the update, first the get entity method is calling, then update entity method is calling. But my requirement is that I don't want to do get and get things. Get thing first. I just want to call the update entity method during the update. I don't want to call get entity method at all, or I want to handle myself ETag comparison. That I want to do. To do that, what you have to do, you have to go to DPC extension class and you have to go to your DPC class, means the super class. In the DPC class, there is a lot of methods are there: get entity, update, delete and all. There is one method called get is condition implemented. If you click over here, there is something called RV condition value. Let me put my breakpoint all the places to show you how it is working. And if we change what is the current value of RV condition value when we update the value. And not only that, we will see alt back, we will see the get entity method also. We have breakpoint on the get entity method. And in the main class, let me go back, alt back button, alt left, you can go to the previous screen, your history, and let me go to my update method, update entity method, and I have breakpoint there also. So let me open my project again, ZC employee RAM 01 RDS, and let me close it out and open it again. Let me go to my gateway client and I just want to test this service, get SAP gateway client. To test my service, you can test in the browser as well, but since we have to pass payload, I'm using this one. You can use Postman as well, based on your feasibility you can do. I usually use this SAP provided tool only, or Chrome. But in this case, I have to get the entity set. CDS view name will be there, Z employee RAM 01, add URI option, format equal to JSON I will add, and I will get one of the entry from this table. If you see from previous video, let me take 16th number or 17th, anything I will take. Let me refresh the data. Let me take 16th one. Let me go to and pass key field as a 16. Let me get this data. And since let me remember this my decision and switch to ABAP perspective, it called the get entity method because we are getting the entity. Let me do F8 and obviously it will get, this is previous screen, no need to worry, we got the data successfully. Now I will use as a request this data, remove the metadata which I don't need, and I want to update something here. Let me put, instead of 80, let me put 90. And since we have to update, we have to use the put method, and we have to use mandatorily ETag value. If you don't pass, you will get error. Control Y, Control C, because we have one ETag property. If match we have to pass, and we have to pass the ETag value, and you can right click, enter, and just execute. Before executing, remove this format equal to JSON and execute it. Let's see what all are the methods are calling. You can see first it is called RV condition value. This is the get is condition implemented. This you have to remember. if you want to implement ETag for your own purpose. If you see this value initial, and after execution also you can see this value is initial. Let me do F8. Since it is initial, it is calling that framework approach, not the custom approach of ETag. So it will call get entity method first. Even we are updating, still it will call get entity method. Let me do F8. And once ETag value got matched, because we are passing the same ETag value, it will call the update entity method. And if we do F8 and come to ABAP perspective, see the data, it got updated successfully. You can refresh it out the data. You can click on refresh button. You can see it got updated successfully. This is how working. But I want to override this method. So first we will see in the debug mode how it is working. I didn't change the ETag value. Even through now ETag value got changed. The ETag value you can see 53D is there, but in the table there is some other ETag value is there. Okay, let me decrease the sizes of the fields so we can see easily ETag values, which is important for us. So you can see this is complete ETag value. The current ETag value is D97, but the new old ETag value is 3D. If I update with the old ETag value, again the data, it will say precondition failed. Let me do F8. It called get entity method, but it will not call the update entity method. Why it will not call update entity method? Precondition failed. State of the resource was already changed. Somebody changed, we only changed. So that is the reason you have to get again data and then update. But let me re-execute again one more time without changing anything. This time I will put RV condition equal to X. Don't execute get entity method. I handled the ETag thing in my, let me do one thing, shift X and enter. It's not updating the value. Let me update again. Okay, let me do F6 first. And now let me update. It's not updating. Why? Give me 1 second. ABAP underscore true. Let me pass. Oh, why it is not ABAP? Oh, it's corrected. ABAP boolean type. RV condition. Now it got updated. There was some issue. It was not updating. So I updated this value as a X. So ideally, what it should call get entity method, but it will not call get entity method now. Let me do F8. It directly call the update entity. Since we pass this value as X, system knows that you already have implemented ETag, but even though we didn't implemented anything here to handle ETag, so we have to do now ETag implementation in update entity itself. Advantage is there. Before reading the data, we can log and then we will read and then update and then unlock. Currently, what it is happening? We are reading data, then locking, then locking the data and using NQFN, then updating, then DQing. Now in next case, what we will do? We will do first NQFM. After that, we will read the data, then update, then we will do the DQ. So read and update in between. There will be no chances there somebody else change the data, because we log the data, so somebody not able to change the data. So this is the advantage of having the ETag handling our own. So first we will make it is the X. How to make as the X? Simple, we have to re-implement that method. Let me do F8. So go to our DPC class. Let me go to the DPC extension class. Let me select this one, go up where it is there. It is in the public section. So I can re-implement in the public section. There is no issue. Let me minimize this one. And this one is my MPC extension class. Let me open this MPC, close this MPC extension class. I have to go to DPC extension class. I can redefine that in the public section. To redefine, just click on enter. It's taking time. You have to copy that method name as well, and you have to give the method and that redefinition where we have to modify this value as a X, but not for all the scenarios. Only for our entity set only we have to do that thing. So we have to copy this one. Let me open parallelly. We have to redefine this one. Same thing we have to do. Whatever they have redefined this one, we have to do in the public section. Same redefinition. Method and method name redefine. Since we have redefined here, I think that will be not required now. But still, let me go Alt back and Control 1 we will do add implementation for this method. Whenever we do implementation, you have to do F2. You have to see the importing and exporting parameter. You can see what all are the importing. IV operation type is a, you can get all the operation type, what operation for what operation type you want to modify the data, and what is the entity set name. That is very important name. So we have to do the changes for only our entity set which we want to implement ETag. So that is very important thing. So for that we have to write some code. Let me click on enter. Let me increase a little bit size. So first condition will be control space you will do IV underscore entity set name is shift enter. We will get from our project. Where is our project? This one is our project. You can go click on the data model, or you can go from model provider class also. You can get both ways fine. You will get the same entity set. This will be the CDS view name underscore CDS view type. Control C. This is my entity set name. So what it is asking for? Give me 1 second. This is asking for entity set name only. So I will pass my entity set name. If this entity set name is this one, then only I want to do this thing. What I want to do? Basically, if you do F2 again, I want to change this return value to X, this value to X. Control C. Not all the scenarios. I have some scenarios that also I have to put no equal to X. I want to change. And one more condition I have to pass. There is one more important importing parameter is there. For what kind of operation you want to do? For that, let me do and operation type, IV operation type equal to what can be the values of this operation type? F2. This is again the operation type values you can get from here. 1 second. What all are the values are there? You can see here. What you have to do? You have to again click on that method. You have to do F2. You have to click on the operation type, and the operation type, what is the type of operation type? Click on that one, and again you have to click on this particular base type, and you can give what all are the values are there. For in my case, I have to do for update entity, so I have to pass UE, and I have to do for the update entity, and even not only update, I have something called the, so there are the fixed values are there. So these values only I can see as of now, but you can open in the separate window also. So it will open here. You can see all the values. So I can see update entity is there. Okay, update entity is there. I can see delete entity is there. I want to do for delete entity, and page entity is there. I want to do for page entity. Page entity also I will show you. Again, I got one of the comment. You want you delete, update, create everything, but we can see something called page here. It will page and merge will call the same method, whatever it is called through put. If you can try out, you can try out. I will try to show you today. Okay, operation, each time I will forget. So you have to pass the UE, means you have to pass the UE, Control Alt down button. 1 second. Okay, there is some error. If is there, this value is there. What is the issue here? Okay, this one we have to pass here. Control X, not here. Sorry, Control V. So operation type is UE, and you can do Control Alt arrow down button to copy the line. Not only UE, I have to pass the P for page entity, D for delete entity. I think D for delete entity. D. Okay. Control Alt arrow down again. DE for delete entity, delete, update, and patch. These are the three scenario we want to match the ETag. Apart from that, something else is there. Create scenario. Anyway, we are updating first time. Update, delete, and patch. That is correct. Get entity we don't need this precondition value. Shift F1, Control F3. If this combination, oh okay, this or either this both all are together will be not there, so I have to put or in between these three conditions. Let me just put or first, or, and this is also or, and put this condition in the small bracket. Either one of these conditions will be satisfied, or this entity and this entity name is there, then we have to make this as a X, and we can put in else part, we have to just clear it out, this one clear, or you can pass space value, whatever you want to do, both are fine. Shift F1, Control F3. This is done as part of the, to making that not to call get entity method, just call update method. Let me go to my update method now. Update, delete, everywhere I have to do, wherever I have this one is called. First let me go to my update method. In update, this is the data declaration. This is, I have prepared the table. Here my enqueue function, dequeue function. So what I have to do first, I have to check what I have passed from if match and if none match. First I have to check what is I have passed, if match value I have passed or if none match I have to pass. For that, what I have to do, I have to go to the F2 again, and we have the all the requested from the URI we can see in IO tech request. As I told you in my previous video also, you have to copy over here and just try to get the value here. Control V, and what all are the methods are there? Get condition info we have to get. I think so this is the only, and we will get the condition info from this method. Control sub greater than, what is the type of this one? Data, we can declare data condition. LV underscore LS underscore condition. Let me see what is the type of ES condition. If you see the TY, if match and if none match, you can see. If match, I think this value will be X. I think again boolean only. Let me go back. F2. Yes, this type of this structure. This structure is having two values. One is if match and another is if none match. But what is type of this one? If I see the TY standard table of TYS ETag, and this standard table again, any value we can get the values also. And what is the tag value? And tag value also again name and value pair is there. We will see what value we are getting. For that we have to do Control F3. Let me put breakpoint both the places. First place is this one and second place is this one, where we have implemented here this one. And before that, let me see what all are the values I am getting here. Based on those values, I will implement my code. So let me go to my this again, my project. Okay, minimize it. This is not required. Let me close it. Let me open it. Let me service implementation GB gateway hub. I just want to test the service SAP gateway client. Yes, you can open it up. Once it get open, let me maximize this one. What I can do, let me get the data first. Entity set, G employee RAM, add URI options, get anything, not format equal to JSON. Let me pass 17 or 18 something, or 16 we can pass, and let me execute what data I am getting. Debugger got triggered, but you can see in this just get entity method is triggering, it got triggered and we got successfully data. In this case 16 we got. Use as a request, remove the metadata, use your ETag value, Control Y, Control C, if match we have to pass, the particular value of the ETag. You have to do put request, change something. Let me make 91 and let me try to execute now again. Oh, format equal to JSON we have to remove. Now let me execute again. Breakpoint got triggered. You can see first this method got triggered because we have re-implemented this particular method. So let me see what is the entity set name. You can see the correct name of entity set. Entity set name we have to give correct. Entity set name, not entity type name. Again, I have given wrongly. So you have to remove this one. And operation type currently we are getting UE. UE means update entity. Let me pass as of now. Shift F12. Let me pass intentionally. Control F3. I know next time it will work, that is the reason. Let me do F5. So this value got filled X. F6, this time directly it will call the update entity method. So we got the data. I just want to see what kind of value I am getting in the else condition. If you open up this structure from here, there is two tables. So since if match is filled or if none match is filled, we have to check first that. If match is filled, we have to check what all are the values in the if match table. So there is again one standard table is there. So let me open it up. Okay, let me see what is the value over here in this table. We have the tag values. Hashtag value is there. We have to compare this hashtag value from the value, what value coming from that particular table. First we have compare. If both are similar, we have to read obviously data from the database. So both are similar. Before reading the data, we have to log, then we have to read, compare the ETag, then update, then unlock. Like that we have to do. So for that, I got this ls condition value. If none match is there, no need to worry, just go and update. Log, go and update. If there is value in the if match, we have to follow this process. If none match is there, no need to worry, just go and update the data. We no need to compare ETag. So let me do F8 in this case. We didn't implemented anything. I just want to check out what all are the values are there. Let me come out, terminate and disconnect all. Let me go to ABAP perspective and let me get the values. Let me activate first. As per our standard procedure, what we will do, first we will read, then log, then update, then unlock. Like that we have to do. Before doing this thing, we have to check that ETag value. So we have to use this ls condition. So we have to put first condition, if control space, ls condition control space, if match is the table, should not be initial. It should is not initial. And if I think this is the table. Okay, shift F1. If this table is having value, then only we have to put match and mismatch. We have to compare. If it is not having value, else we have to create one data type here. Okay, so suppose if it is having value, we have to create data lv match equal to ABAP true. Okay, else we will clear this one. Control C. This is not that much simple. Clear this one. If it is this particular if match is not having value, that means if none match is having value, we no need to care about this one when we are updating the data. If it is matching, then first thing what we have to do, we have to get the data from the database. If it is having some match value, then we have to get the ETag value from the database. For that we have to write the select statement obviously on select ETag from where? From this g employee underscore ram table. Control C, Control V, select single we have to write because we have ID value as well this time, where the id equal to we have this ls data, whatever the in payload they have sent the id, same id we have to use into data lv underscore ETag value, which we will get from the data. We have to pass symbol, if control space, if and if block, okay, control space, except F1, if size abas is 0, means we got the data from the size abas is initial, we have some entries. Obviously, we should have some ETag value for this particular ID in the database, else we have to display some error that you can do. Control shift less than, display error, this particular entry is not exist in the display error, data, or we can say employee not exist, employee not exists in the system. Like that we can display error using the exception classes. This is the first thing. And we have the ETag value. Then first thing what we have to do, we have to loop through this table. Before looping through, we have to check one line is there. If you do F2 over here, we have multiple values here in this type structure. One is the tag values, where we will find our ETag value. Apart from that, we have weak and any value. Any value, whenever we pass asterisk sign as a wildcard value, that time this will be filled. So we have to take care of that also. So for taking care of this, what we have to do, if control C, we have to call one line exist function module, that particular function which is available. Either you can read with transporting no field, that also you can do, but we have support of new syntax. And what we have to pass, if match, in this control space you will do any value equal to ABAP true, or ABAP true you can pass, or you can pass X as well. If this condition gets satisfied, if this condition get not satisfied, then we have to worry. Else, just to update this particular value, LV match equal to true. Control C. Okay, we have to do like this. Control C, Control V, and we have to remove from here. In this case, data already declared. Control Z. No need to remove. Control C less than you can do. So we have to do ABAP true, because in this case, any value you are, whatever you are passing, means that we have to accept, and we have to, and you can come out from this, or no need to come out. If it is not true, then what we have to do further, what else we are having in this, we have take care of this value weak, either this will be X or this will be X. In this case, the tag values will be filled. So we have to read the tag values further. For reading the tag values, we have to loop through this table. This is table. So we have to loop through this table, loop, control space, loop at assigning, control V, shift F1. Let me loop through this table, assigning field symbol, ls match, match, and then what we have to do, this is field symbol, so we have to pass the field symbol values. And inside this, we will be having some values. So we have to check line exist if control space, if and if, control C, shift F1, we have to write the line exist expression, and control C. This is again table. If you see F2, this is having the name and value pair. So in this case, we have to read this table. Let me see F2 again. This is having tag values. Let me do control space. This is table with the values. What values we have to check? A control space you can do. IT key tab. No. One second. If the line is exists there, then what we have to do, we are looping through one by one all the, because ETag can be passed multiple times. Let me show you in debug mode and write there only Control F3. That will be good and you will also understand. Let me put one breakpoint over here again. And once I put the breakpoint, let me call this service again in the update mode. Let me give the CDSU name, add URI option, format equal to JSON, and get one of the employee data. Let me execute it. Breakpoint is there, it got triggered. Let me do F8, get entity set. Let me go back. I got the data, use as a request. Once I use as a request, let me remove this format equal to JSON. Not only that, I have to I have to change something. Let me get the ETag value, Control Y, Control C. So if a match and pass the same ETag value, what we are getting, Control V, click on enter. I think that's it. Let me execute. Breakpoint got triggered. This time get entity method didn't get triggered because we have mentioned, we have redefined this particular is conditional implemented method, and we put this value as a X for this particular entity type whenever we are calling through the update entity, delete entity, or patch entity. So what I will do now, let me do F5, F6, get the data. We got the data, ls data, whatever data we have. In this we have ID, hashtag, everything we is having. We calculated the new hashtag value. We calculate the hashtag value based on the newer data. In this case, the value will be same, I think so. Because why it will be same? We didn't change any data when we send. If you see this hashtag value and this value, both are same. So in this case, we should change some data, then only the hashtag value will get changed. Otherwise, the hashtag value will be similar. But what I will do, no need to worry. I just want to check what all are the values we are getting in if match. If you see in if match is not initial, there is two values. If you open this ls condition, one is if match and one is if none match. Because we have passed if match, that is the reason we are getting the data in if match. There is one entry over here. Further, if you see if match, there is one table, and the if match is a table, and it have the three type, table type, tag value, week, and any value. If it is any value equal to X, means all the values are true, you have to go and update. So that is the reason I'm checking. Is not initial, first thing I'm doing. And as I told you, before this read, we have to log the data. I will explain that again, no need to worry. Just we are getting the ETag value, existing ETag value. And for newer entries, what I'm telling, any value equal to ABAP true, then go and update the data. We just say it is matched. But in other case, this table we have to loop. It can have multiple entries because we can pass multiple if match tag in header. As of now, we have passed one entry. So if you open this one, so in this tag value, so what I was doing, let me do now again, Control Shift greater than, let it lock. It will take little bit time because we are going to editable mode. So if match tag value is a internal table. This is having two internal table. Tag values is again we have a standard table inside the tag value, and what all are the fields are there for to see. I think tag value. Let me go again. If match is having three. One is the tag value again having the internal table. If you open tag value, we have the name and hash. So we have to pass the name. Control space you will get the NA, name should equal to the hashtag. The field name should be hashtag, and we can say property name, and you can click on enter to go in another line. And if you control space do, value should be whatever the ETag value we are having, LV ETag, if both are same, whatever we have sent both are same, in that case control C, just we will pass LV match equal to ABAP true, control C. Okay, let me pass control C. If it is matching, and that means whatever the ETag value you have sent and whatever the current ETag value in the database, both are similar. For that I have to remove this one, data declaration, and we can do if match, and one got matched, then we can just go exit out from the loop. Else if it is not, we don't have any value, no need to do anything, because we have to check the other value as well from through this loop, one by one, all the things. And that's it. Let me do a control F3 and let me come out from here, terminate and disconnect all, and let me explain again what code we have written. So again I'm explaining, till here we were clear, we got the else condition. So as I told you, what we have to do, we have to log first, then read, then we have to update the data, then we have to unlog. So as soon as you update the, you will get entire data and you get all the condition data. First thing, before reading anything or before doing anything, you have to call here enqueue function. Enqueue fm you have to call here. Once you call enqueue fm for this particular entry, for this particular ID, if you have enqueue with reference to key field, because you don't want to log entire data, but just you want to enter this based on this ID, you have to call this enqueue function module. Once it is got logged, then first we will check if match is initial or not, if there is some value. If it is not value, then just go and display the what we can say, else we can just go and say that this is else part, we just go and say it got matched. A clear match means LV match is clear, it didn't match, so we have to go and say it got match. First thing, if match is not initial means it is having some data. If it is not having data, we just have to go and say LV match equal to ABAP true, it got matched. Because in this case if non-match is having value, if non-match is having value, then we have to update the data, we have to say it got it have matched already. And second scenario, this is first if, and what we are doing, we are getting the existing ETag value in the LV underscore ETag. Once we got the existing ETag value, what we are doing, we are checking the what ETag value sent by the user. To do that, first what we have to do, the user have sent is a asterisk sign, or what we can say, he want to allow all the ETags irrespective of whatever the value you want to go and update, that kind of scenario. Then we have to put if LV match equal to else. If this is the not scenario where any value equal to ABAP true, this is not scenario, then what we have to do, we have to loop through all the entries in if match. If match can have multiple values. If it is having the multiple values, then we have to one by one all the values where the hashtag value, the name value, field name equal to hashtag, and ETag value, whatever we got, whatever the current ETag value from the database, and whatever the user sent, if that kind of user have sent that particular ETag value, in that case what we have to do, we have to put LV match equal to ABAP true as soon as it match, and we have to come out that exit. It's a lot of if and else, I can say. If everything is working fine here, and then finally what we have to do, we did already enqueue, then we have read the data, we no need to call here enqueue. If LV match, what we have to do, if control V equal to X, or we can say is not initial, means it got matched, then we have to go and update, else, and if everything got matched, go and update. And what we have to do, not only we have to update, we have to call the DQ function module, DQFM, because we have to, once it is updated, we have to call the DQ. And control C, if suppose this LV match is not matched, or we have what we can say, we didn't make any of the condition not passed over here, means there is mismatch between the ETag values. In that case, just we have to call the DQFM. We have to unlock the entry again because we have logged in our program without any update. Even we have to unlock this entry, and then that's it. Like that we have to work when we work in real time. Control F3. So here we have two concurrency control. One is the ABAP level concurrency control using the DQ function module, and one is the OData level concurrency control using the ETag. So both we have combined in together and doing both parallel way. So let me activate this one, Control F3, and let me call again. I think it got disconnected. Let me come here, SAP Gateway Client. Okay, again it got disconnected here as well. Let me close this one, open this again, minimize this one, go to Gateway Service, Gateway Client, where we can test our data. Yes. Let me see if I didn't activate it or not, the code. Control F3. Let me go again here, get entity set, add URI option, $format equal to JSON, get the 16th entry. This time we will change something, 1616, and let me get this data. Once we get the data, okay, breakpoint got triggered. Let me do F8. Let me come back here, use as a request, remove the metadata, change something. Instead of 91, I can put 100. Okay, and one more thing I have to do, I have to pass this older ETag value, whatever we got, Control Y, Control C. In this case, it will match. Let me pass if match. We will test both the scenarios where it is matching and where it is not matching. Control V. Let me click on enter. Put request, change the data, remove the format equal to JSON from here, and let's execute. ABAP debugger got triggered. We got newer data here, LS data. If you see 91,000, we can see here as well. 100,000 it converted to 100. Let me get the conditions from LS condition. So you can see a lot of if match is got already filled. Let me do F6. Newly hashtag value is different from the whatever this one sent by the user. Okay, and this calculated LS hashtag value calculated by FM based on new data. So you can see new data hashtag is different than the older data. I have updated in LS internal table, LS G employee RAM ETag value. Now I want to get the older ETag value. So F6 in LV ETag we have older ETag value, and the LS data hashtag now we have calculated. And one more, what data sent by the user, there is another ETag. So let me see that ETag, that is important for us. So first what we are doing, if any value is true or not in if match. So obviously it is not true, any value is not true here. You can see week is X, so it will come to loop. We will loop through this table. It can have multiple condition in if match, and when we loop through this condition table, first we will check in LS match. If you see here, we have one entry, tag value, name, hashtag, and value. We will check with this ETag, LV ETag, and with this ETag value, there is any entries available or not. Obviously, this ETag value and whatever we send, E85 and whatever we got from the database, both are matching now. So we can say it got matched. We came out from the loop, and finally, what we are doing, since LV match equal to X, we are updating the data, and we are calling finally DQ function module, and we are coming out from that. Let me do F8. So if you see here, it got updated successfully. We can go and check the table as well. 90, you can see for 16th. Let me refresh it out. You can see 100, it got updated. Now let me send same data again. This time it should not work because ETag got changed, but still I'm sending the older ETag. Let me re-execute again without changing the ETag value. Let me do app6, 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 app6. In this case, the newer ETag value is this one. And what ETag value we got, that we can see in this tag values. The newer ETag will be this ETag, D6. And older ETag value is you can see it is starting from DC and 0. It will not match. In this case, it not match. It will go for next loop. It didn't match still. And you can see still LV match is initial. If it is the LV match is initial, we are just dequeuing the function module, but we are not updating any data. But make sure we have to send the user back the error message. That we didn't do. We have to do that also. Let me do F8. In this case, I didn't send any error message. That is the reason it is saying successfully updated. Even through the data in the database, it's not updated successfully. But we have to send the error message. Before displaying error, one more thing we can do. We know what we can do. This data, whatever we are calculating newer hashtag, it is giving little bit confusion to us. This we can do later point of time as well. Control X, Control Z. Let me do what we are doing. Newer, Control X, and what we can do, before the update, what we will do, we will calculate the newer hashtag, shift F1, and then we will pass that data in LSD employee data, and then the same data we will update, and then we will call the DQ function module. Because we are not using this hashtag value, whatever we have calculated newly in our execution before, because what we are comparing, one we are comparing LV ETag which we are coming from the table, and second the user what user have sent that value, and both after the comparing both the value, if both are matched, then we are calculating the newer hashtag value, and that we are updating in the database. Just to make sure we are not using this one somewhere else, we are good. And most important, to raise the error message, we have to give the error message, we have to raise the exception. So after the DQ function module, we have to call the DQ function module is in the error case where it didn't got match, and we have to raise the exception as well. Raise exception, and type we can give control business exception. And this you will get what kind of the exceptions are there for this particular method. If you do up to business exception and tag exceptions, you can see, you know from my previous videos. And this exception control space shift enter you have to do. It will give you all the importing and exporting parameter. In this case, I want to pass the text ID, and the text ID again we will get from the same exception class. Control space, that should be precondition failed, which error we are getting. There should be something precondition failed. Let me write it down. Yeah, precondition failed. And not only we have to set this text ID, we have to set the error message in the header as well. HTTP header parameter we have to send. Not header parameter, we have to set the status code. In this case, Control C, Control V. Let me call again control space. Okay, I'm not getting help. Let it get help. We have header code somewhere, GCC exceptions, category, HTTP status code. Yeah, I have to get this one. Control space. Again, we have something called prerequisite file status code. Okay, so this thing we have to do. Control F3, shift F1. We will debug and see again. In this case, we have to raise the exception, because we didn't update the data in the database. Users should know you didn't update. Let me do Control F3. It's working. Let me see. Oh, it got disconnected over here. I think this got disconnected or not. This also got disconnected. Okay, let me lock my object again. Alt F12, Alt F8, SM12, delete all. Just delete, close this also. Search, select all and delete all. Go to delete and go to my project again. Close this SM12, not required. Minimize this one. Go to my gateway client to test. You can use the T code also. ZW underscore client T code is there, but it's okay. We have to give their service name. Here service name automatically come. Entity set name. This entity I want to add URI option. Format equal to JSON. Oh, I have changed the JSON, and let me get again the same data 16, and let me get execute. Let me execute. Breakpoint got triggered. Let me do F8. Let me go to ABAP perspective again. Let me minimize this one. It is giving confusion, but that's okay. Use as a request. Delete the metadata, which is not required. Change to 110 instead of 100, and something else. Okay, remove this one. Format equal to JSON, and update put. We have to pass the ETag value. Okay, if we don't pass ETag value, we will directly get the precondition fail. We should handle that kind of scenario as well. But Control Y, Control C, and let me add this one. If match, pass this value. Control V, execute it, and let me execute. I think so. It will trigger the breakpoint. Oh, it didn't trigger till now. It successfully updated. Let me go and put the breakpoint again. I think breakpoint got here and there messed up. Let me remove this one, put again, Control F3. Okay, now it is active. Okay, if I execute now, it will get fail. Okay, I want that should get fail. Execute again. Breakpoint got triggered. I got the data in ls data, whatever from the payload. You can see all the data. I have changed 110. F6. I got all the conditions in this one. If match is there, we have one tag value, and we have this hashtag value. F5, I get this LV tag value as well, and both are mismatching. You can see this LV tag value and this tag value we got from the user, and this hashtag value we got from the database, because last time when we updated, it got changed. In this time I should get error message. Last time when I executed before the raise exception, I was not getting. So it will loop through the data, but it will not match, and LV match will be initial. If it is LV match initial, we are dequeuing the unlocking the table line entry, and we are raising the exception. F6, and let me do F8. Let me see. So you can see precondition failed. State of the resources was already changed. Same message we are getting, what standard used to return. That's how we have to raise the exception as well. Like this, each and every scenario we have to handle now manually in our code in DPC extension class of the update method. Not only we have to write this code in the update method, we have to write in the delete method as well. So I have shown you one of the example in update method. Same thing we have to repeat in the delete method also. We have to match. If it is matching, then only we have to delete. Otherwise, somebody already changed the data. You might not want to delete because that data is changed already, or that might be the entry might be required. So for that also we have to do ETag handling appropriately. So you have to write that code manually again. With that, I think we have done with this video. I hope you learned something new from this video. Please like this video, share these videos with others also, and comment it down in the comment section. It will help me, it will motivate me a lot to create videos like this. You can follow me on the LinkedIn, and you can watch out other video series are available on this channel. All are freely. ABAP on HANA series is available, CDS series, AMDP series, ABAP new syntax, each and everything is freely available. You can go and watch out from this channel. With that, thank you and happy learning.